Holy smokes, you guys, I can't believe it. They did it. Nintendo finally did it. They came out this morning and gave us a huge surprise and announced a brand new game. I simply can't believe it, but I'm so excited by this, you guys. This is the first time in 2020. Here we are halfway through May, the 5th month of the year, and we've finally gotten our first big Nintendo reveal of 2020. It really just shows how kooky and crazy this year has been. But at the end of the day, I now no longer care about that stuff because maybe Nintendo's finally getting ready to open the floodgates. I woke up at 7:45 a.m. this morning here on the west coast of the States, and all of a sudden it was like, Paper Mario's back, baby. There's a new Paper Mario game announced. Holy crap, people were tagging me on Twitter. My brother sent me a text. It was all I saw. It was Paper Mario. This is just totally insane. Now, there's kind of a lot to talk about here, as you guys can obviously imagine if you've already seen the trailer and you already know what's going on, or if you follow me on Twitter. There's a lot of things that we can kind of take away from what's happened this morning. You know, obviously the big thing is that a new Paper Mario game was announced. Like I said, it's called Paper Mario: The Origami King. That's pretty cool and exciting. I'm not a huge Paper Mario fan, but as I've long said, if a new one showed up that looked good, of course I would be excited and I would still buy and play it. And that is my plan with the Origami King. It looks like a good time. But also, this is all wrapped up in a rumor that happened way back in January of this year that had to do with an individual named Sabi on Twitter, stating that a new Paper Mario would be coming out this year, and also that a new Metroid game would be coming out. And here we are, just a couple of months later, and we've now seen a brand new Paper Mario game. So this is totally wild and totally kooky, and there's a tease at the end of this trailer, and we're going to get into that stuff. But let's look at the two tweets here from Sabi. Again, this happened on January 17th of this year is where this was stated. And the first tweet said, Paper Mario going back to how it was in 2020. So there's that tweet, and so far that seems to be the case with the Origami King. And this was followed up with, the 2D Metroid game does in fact seem to be related to Fusion, also sounds as though it's set for this year. So these two tweets definitely created quite a firestorm. I discussed it obviously myself because I was very excited. The Paper Mario thing was neat to me, but I was mostly focused on the Metroid stuff. And so, yeah, like I said, there's even a tease at the end of this trailer for this new Paper Mario game. So I don't even know where to start. This is really crazy. I mostly care about the Metroid stuff, so let's get the Paper Mario stuff out of the way. Like I said, it's called the Origami King, and one of the craziest things about this is that it was confirmed to be releasing on July 7th. That is less than 2 months from now, you guys. And I know that the world has been asking for a Paper Mario game forever, and so I'm really glad to see that this is a real thing and a game that Nintendo has obviously been sitting on for a while. If this game is supposed to come out in July and they're only revealing it in May, that shows me that it was probably supposed to be revealed in what would have been a January or a February regular Nintendo Direct that we didn't actually get, because 2020 has been so freaking weird. Now, as somebody without a whole lot of experience with Paper Mario, it's definitely hard for me to watch this trailer and pick out some of the features or details or tweaks to the gameplay that a lot of you guys might be able to see. So I'm sure that a lot of you long-term Paper Mario fans might be able to watch this trailer and say, oh, look, they added this thing, or oh, look, they brought this back. Oh my god, now Paper Mario is doing this thing that he's never done before. This looks like a new twist. Unfortunately, I can't really break it down that way. I played Super Paper Mario on the Wii, and I just barely dabbled in Thousand Year Door on the GameCube, and that's it. And I don't even think I beat Paper Mario. I know I played a hell of a lot of that game, so I might have beaten it, or maybe I just got really close to the end. I don't know. That was like, what, 14, 15 years, I guess 14 years ago at this point? So I just can't talk too much about Paper Mario. All I can say is, I know that Color Splash was very divisive. I talked to many people who played it, and for the most part, they didn't like it, and they didn't like the direction it took. It also came out on the Wii U when it wasn't cool to like the Wii U anymore. And so people really turned their backs on that game. And I get that it wasn't really a good Paper Mario game. This game, based on people's reactions, seems to be the return to form that people wanted of Paper Mario, and that also Sabi's tweet seemed to hint at. When I look at it, I see that, you know, Peach has been turned into an origami, and she's like, almost like she's being like led by a religious cult and trying to convince Mario to like also do the same, like, stop being a little paper sticker man, instead be an origami folded person. It's really great. And it seems to be that a lot of different parts or people within the kingdom are turning into this origami thing, and Mario probably has to find this origami king who's doing this to people and stop these people. So I like the kind of RPG combat that the Mario series has employed in some of its games, including Paper Mario. It is fun, but it's obviously not my preferred way to play a game, and it's definitely not my preferred way to play a Mario game. But again, it looks really fun, it looks really beautiful. It's also like one of the only significant Nintendo games we know about in 2020. So it does have me excited. It looks like it's maybe even using the Color Splash engine, because it does look very pretty, and it looks reminiscent of what I've seen in trailers of that game. So, hey, great going, Nintendo. Thank you so much for finally having some kind of game or some kind of surprise. I wonder if they realized that they were getting left out of the conversation because Microsoft had their Series X showcase. Even though people didn't like it, it was still big news. Sony showed yesterday, well, I shouldn't say Sony, but Epic showed yesterday the first tech demo of gameplay running on the PlayStation 5, and so that has a lot of news. And so everyone's talking Xbox and PlayStation, and Nintendo has been left in the dust with nothing big to show. And so maybe that was part of what convinced them to show this game now. Although, to be fair, the game's only 2 months away, so if they were going to stick to a July date, they needed to get it out at some point. Now, let's talk about the real deal, and let's talk about what's really going on with that Metroid tease at the end of this trailer. Obviously, all my attention is focused on this. Well, most of it, I should say. I am excited for Paper Mario. It's great, it exists. I'm gonna buy it. But other than that, I'm really just focused on this Metroid thing, man, because I think it's pretty interesting. People actually had to make sure I was aware of it on Twitter, because I saw the Paper Mario trailer came out. I watched most of it, and I was like, this is cool. Like, wow, Nintendo announced a big game, and I'm going to buy this game, so this is great. And the title screen comes up, and I didn't really, like, keep watching it. But then I saw a couple of tags of people saying, oh my god, the Metroid tease at the end, dude. And I was like, what? So I had to go back to watch it. And then I saw the tease, and Mario gets a little paper-looking Metroid Samus helmet on him, and he runs around, and it's like, ooh, this is something you don't see every day. Is he battling something? And then, like, it ends. And so, okay, like I said in the beginning, that's interesting because of the tease from Sabi on Twitter back in January. You know, Sabi predicted Paper Mario, it's real. Sabi predicted Metroid, a Metroid tease shows up at the end of this. So, is this Nintendo acknowledging that they were rumored and teased together and playing with our emotions to say, hey, this is a thing? Or are they doing it in the opposite way and they're playing with our emotions because it's not a thing, but they're trying to make it hurt a little bit more, right? I don't think it's that. It's probably that there might be a Metroid game that they're making, and so because they knew that these teased together, they wanted to kind of put it out there to start whetting our appetites for a potential new Metroid game. Now, I'm going to be a little real with you guys, okay? As much as I want to believe that this is a tease about another actual Metroid game that Nintendo is going to announce, there are two other less fun scenarios that this could actually be hinting towards. One of them has to do with Paper Mario itself, because what I noticed about it as I rewatched it is that Mario is in this room and there's like little paper heads of other characters like Donkey Kong sitting on the shelf next to him. There's other Nintendo characters in paperhead form in that room. And so what if this is just trying to hint at some kind of mechanic within this game that lets Mario put on different heads of different Nintendo characters and maybe use some of their abilities? Like he puts on a Donkey Kong head and he can, like, swing from vines or do, like, huge, powerful punches. And maybe he puts on, like, a Link cap and he can use a sword for some of his attacks. And maybe he puts on a Samus helmet and he can use, like, a little arm cannon gun, the little pellet shooter or something. Or turn into a morph ball. I don't know. I'm just guessing because in that room, there's other heads. And so I'm like, what if this is just... What if this isn't about a Metroid game? What if this is about a feature to Paper Mario the Origami King? I think it's maybe less likely, but it's worth bringing up that maybe it has to do with that. Now, the other one, and this is the least likely of the bunch, but I think that this is really funny. What if this is hinting towards another game? What if this is hinting towards a Paper Metroid game? What if it's not a Metroid game that we want? What if it's a Paper Metroid spin-off game or something? And I joke about that because when I was on the Spawncast Nintendo Direct predictions, back in January, we recorded this on January 20th this year, so just months ago, just 3 days after Sabi's tweets, I actually joked about a Paper Metroid game being a thing.
Skeletons from Mario Odyssey or something. I mean, they could do so much. And I don't trust that team enough now. I've been burned one too many times, and I want it to be true so bad, but I can't in my right mind say it.
Have we ever considered if Nintendo would make a different franchise in the paper style? Like, what if they did a paper Metroid or a paper Zelda?
Oh, God.
Don't will those things into existence.
Could you just imagine like an adorable little paper Ridley, like an origami paper Ridley eating Samus's parents? How beautiful that would be.
we've got 2D Metroid rumors in the news. What if that's what it is?
Oh my God!
Oh, Samus's crafty world.
Oh my God! Obviously, as a Metroid super fan, it's the last thing I want.
That would be the wrong kind of stinger that Scott was predicting.
Yes. Hey man, I'm just saying, that's something that I put out there, and then we get this whole tease at the end of this trailer. But really, I'm just having fun. I was joking in the podcast, and I'm mostly just joking right now. I can't imagine that Nintendo would be doing anything like that. I would be curious, I'm not gonna lie. If it was real, I would be like, really, Nintendo? But also, I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to buy and play that, you know? So that's just something that I wanted to throw out there, but I don't expect it. I think most likely scenario, there is a 2D Metroid or another Metroid game that they're going to reveal to us. Right behind that, this could just be a feature in this game. And so all in all, this is crazy. This is really exciting. This was a great thing to wake up to. Nintendo finally rumbling awake from their long slumber, hopefully. Finally waking up to say, hey, we also make video games. We also know you want to buy good video games. Here's a good video game. It's a new Paper Mario that you guys have been asking for the last, 4 years at this point. Here you go. And it's also out in 2 months. Here you go. And also, here's a little tasty morsel of something Metroid just in case you're looking for that. And so this is just a great thing to see. Coming off of Xbox stuff, coming off of PS5 stuff, it's great to see Nintendo moving a little bit and showing us something. So us Nintendo fans and us Mario fans have something to be very excited about. And us Metroid fans maybe have a tiny little morsel that we can hold on to for hope that also a new Metroid game might actually come out sometime soon as well. So very crazy. It's getting to summertime. It's getting to E3 time. There is no E3, so we're getting all this weird, sparsed out video game news, and it's just crazy, but this is what we have to go on. And so, hey, I'm excited. This is great. What do you guys think? What do you think about the Paper Mario reveal? What do you think about the Metroid tease? Talk about all of your feelings below. And with that, this video is a wrap. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of 2 Review, and I will catch you next time on another video.